face to face with my conscience.
July 15th, 2023. If it's 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, it's time for This Week in Waukesha. I am your host, Downtown Donnie Brown, coming to you live and local. Well, actually, I'm coming to you recorded, but local from the office of former Alderman Don Paul Brown, also known as the Walk Radio Studios here in the old NAMI building at 217 Wisconsin Avenue, right around the corner from Theodore Yaumann's Park, where we are proud to honor our suffragette heritage here in the Shaw. And here is with me today is a proud descendant of this suffragette heritage. And her office is right around the corner, too, there in the 5 Points. The company is called Work Hub. But the one brand she's really been driving these last few years and having a lot of fun with it is Wisco Mary. Mary Jane Sanchez, welcome. One of my dearest friends here in Waukesha, one of my oldest friends here in Waukesha. How are you?
I am amazing, Don, as always. Always a great pleasure to be with you and support local Waukesha.
Mm-hmm. Mary Jane, as many of you, is really nobody new to a lot of people listening. She has so many friends here in Waukesha. Born and raised in the Shaw. Born in Milwaukee, but moved here as a young child, I believe. A graduate, a 1977 graduate of Waukesha South High School. Go Black Shirts. Yep. And a proud mother of a black shirt child, a North Star child, right? And where did Michelle go?
West.
Man, so you covered all three bases.
Yes.
Holy cow. So
and for different reasons.
For different reasons, sure. So, but and they've all done extremely well. She's a wonderful mother, and but also a very savvy entrepreneur who's also been really active in Waukesha life, and she's become a good friend of the civic media, growing civic media empire. She's recruited advertisers for the station. And she's also appeared on a couple of my shows making some announcements for some of the different groups that you're involved in. There's a women's executive or professional group you're involved in?
Women's Executive Network.
That's what it was, yep. Mm-hmm. So I remember you came here. It was one of my first shows. You came to promote a luncheon, I think. Was it at the Blair House?
Yes.
So I remember that.
There at the Blair House. And I would say there was about 30 women that attended.
Sure. Wow, very nice. So, and she was also, Mary Jane called me one day as I was building my business, and she said, how'd you like to earn an extra $7,000 a year? And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, well, I just found out that the alderman in your district has announced he's stepping down, and why don't you run? And so she was a driving force behind my political career, my rise and fall.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be because that's how I ended up here at Civic Media. It really has been a blessing. But it's been a blessing to be your friend. And but there's one. Wisconsin's got a lot of traditions: beer, cheese,
sausage,
craft beer, sausage. Yes, how could I forget sausage? Packers, Badgers. And Bloody Marys. I mean, people love Bloody Marys all around the country, maybe all around the world. But Wisconsin, is it fair to say, is fanatical about Bloody Marys?
Yes.
Would you say that, Anastasia? Anastasia, our faithful engineer?
I would say so.
Absolutely. So
yeah, and I can actually prove that. I am a marketer, and one of the things I do is I find trending topics. Mm-hmm. And one day I went to the Google Trends, typed in Bloody Mary, and there it was, a shining light on the state of Wisconsin.
Very cool.
We are number one in the nation for the search term Bloody Mary.
Love it. Hey, and quick stop, because this is a great opportunity to promote what civic media across all of our stations around the state is promoting. Is the civic media blood drive? Is that the correct name, Anastasia?
Yeah, I believe so.
So if you go to civicmedia.us/blood drive, you can learn more about how you can participate. We want to get a lot of blood donations so we can help a lot of people in need throughout the state. So many good reasons to give, and even good reasons for your personal health. I learned that there's a family predisposition towards, I'm going to murder this. Is it hematomacrosis or hemochromatosis? But it results from having too much iron in your blood. And a good solution for that, without having to go into a lot of medication or any procedures, is just to give blood regularly. So that's I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And maybe Wisco Mary, that could be a great, talk about cause-related marketing, Wisco Mary
Yes.
in the Civic Media Blood Drive.
So
Is Jorge Reyna listening? Do we know? Oh, wait, it's recorded, so probably not. But Jorge, if it's Saturday morning, I'm going to connect you with Mary Jane. So
very good.
yeah.
One of the promoting is a big part of any type of business.
Okay.
And I reached out a couple years ago to the Great Lakes Hemophiliac Foundation, and they had one Bloody Mary event at the Italian Community Center in Milwaukee.
Uh-huh.
And so they invited me to judge their event.
Okay.
And boy, did I have a great time.
Nice.
They had over 800 attendees.
Okay.
And they were all drinking Bloody Marys for 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
There is an admission ticket.
All right.
I could not believe how many people were in attendance.
Wow.
To that event.
That's neat. That's terrific. So, yeah, and that's a great. We're going to also, with that, before the first break, we're going to have Johnny Watermelon come in. Johnny and I were doing some homework tonight. Johnny, come here real quick. This is important. Johnny took some time out of his busy schedule, and he goes around the clock, this guy. Johnny will be partnering with me again on high school and college, our first college broadcast.
Hey, Don. Hi, everybody.
Radio, yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
So
How you doing, Mary?
We're doing a little homework on. We have this historic opportunity to broadcast Carroll University football. Carroll's Wisconsin's oldest university, and that's why they're called the Pioneers. And there is a great tradition going on, 2 winning seasons in a row in the Coach Mike Budashevsky era, Coach Buda. And so Johnny took some time out to meet me and just do a little bit of homework before we finally connect with they start camp in August as per the Division III rules. But Johnny, what are some takeaways from some of the intel that we gathered tonight?
I got to tell you, some of those players specifically have some standout seasons going on there, and they're coming off of 2 winning seasons. I think this could be a great year for them, don't you, Don?
I sure do, and not just 2 winning seasons, but the first back-to-back winning season since 1990.
Right on.
It's really just like similar with South and North in high school football. It's been a long, dry stretch of losing seasons. And so competitive football's back here in Waukesha, and with our state's oldest university, it's a really exciting brand of football, too. I was watching some highlights, including that overtime win against Augustana. And it was really good, really exciting brand of football that they play.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, so I can't wait for it to get going.
Great. So, Johnny, I appreciate your time and your talents, and I'm sorry I'll be missing you at the farmers market this Saturday. But
I'll be there.
Mary Jane will be there, so look for Johnny at the Walk Radio booth on Saturday. He's going to have a lot of smiles, some great stickers, and who knows, maybe a few other prizes. But also, talk to Johnny, too, if you want more information on the blood drive that's going on as well.
Sure. Visit me down there when at the farmer's market.
So
give you all the stats.
Thank you for your gifts of community, John.
Yeah, sure.
It's
a pleasure to visit with you.
So
want to help out?
Sounds great. All right. Ready?
All right. See ya.
All right. So back with Mary Jane Sanchez. Mary Jane, like I said, my oldest friend in Evanston, one of my dearest friends. Johnny, one of my newest friends in Evanston, but I feel like I've known him all my life. So, like, the three of us, man, we'll get along like a house on fire. So, and Johnny likes Bloody Marys, too. So, as a former bartender, too. So, we might have him stick. We should make him stick around, yeah. So, but a great sport, too. So, now, and yeah, I can't tell you how excited we are about Carroll football, and maybe we can introduce Wisco Mary at some of the. They have quite a tailgate there. Believe it or not, they pack it in there.
I'm always
at
open
Schneider
to
Stadium
promoting Waukesha and of course Bloody Marys anywhere. But I do want to interject here. Back, I can't remember what year. It must have been 2014 at least.
Okay.
Maybe 2013.
Sure.
Waukesha South was putting their turf in. And from grass to turf, and none of these schools had a football field.
Right.
So they were playing on Carroll's field for that year.
Yeah.
And so that was fun for the kids on Friday night to be under the big lights at Carroll.
Sure. That was. I remember that was Catholic Memorial's home field for many years. There was a game against Muskego about, I think it was 3 seasons, and Muskego was the visiting team, so there's no stands behind that visiting team. So they just lined up all these cars and lawn chairs, and Muskego was up 21-0. Catholic Memorial came back with like 3 straight touchdowns, like in the last like 5 or 10 minutes. It was really quite. And they decided to go for 2, I think, to win it. Yeah, instead of just tying it, they decided let's put them away here because it was either no time or very little time. And unfortunately for Catholic Memorial, Muskego stopped them. But anyway, everyone that was there on both sides said it was just an amazing game and an amazing atmosphere because, it's a small stadium, but it's a beautiful stadium.
It is. A lot of tradition.
And a lot of tradition and a lot of fan support on college game days. But to also see a high school event there against 2 juggernauts, and, Catholic used to be in the Classic 8 and is still a juggernaut in football, that a lot of fun was had there. And it is a great turf, too. They play lacrosse there as well. So, and I think they have soccer there. So, but anyway, one of the fun aspects of Mary Jane's job, of your job, is you travel the state in search of the best Bloody Mary or just different types of Bloody Marys and new twists on this legendary drink. And what was your most recent travel?
Well, first of all, I'd like to start okay, I'll answer that.
Yeah.
My most recent travel was yesterday.
Okay.
I took a couple friends because people always want to join me, and that's an open invitation.
All
People
right.
love to join. And we went to Barnacle Buds. Barnacle Buds is along the Milwaukee River, and it was the most beautiful, picturesque day. They have music. They have all the boats coming in, docking there, and it's just a nice getaway. A lot of people don't know where it is. It's kind of a local secret, but they have not only Supreme Bloody Marys, but they have a Bloody Mary bar.
Wow.
And we,
Very
of
cool.
course, matched that with oysters
Okay.
and shrimp cocktails and whatever else we had.
I love oysters. I can't remember last time I had them, but so we have less than about half a minute before the first break. When we come back, we're going to hear some more about Mary Jane's amazing travels around this beautiful state, as well as some Bloody Marys unique to those communities, as well as maybe a shout out to some of the favorite Bloody Marys she has here in Waukesha. No pressure.
Oh, yes. No
So
pressure.
lots to talk about as this week in Waukesha continues. Bloody Marys and the Civic Media Blood Drive. Can't get any better than that. Don't go away.
Don't just talk about it. Talk about it. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Hey, this is Lindsay Kindred at 540 WAUK.
Yep.
I can't believe the news today. Oh, I can't close my eyes and make it go away. How long must we sing this song? How long?
Hey, we're back this week in Waukesha, and appropriately enough, that's U2's Sunday Bloody Sunday. I was hoping to get the live Red Rocks version of that, but that'll do. No worries. So appropriate for 2 reasons. One, because Mary Jane Sanchez is here, the founder of Wisco Mary, a promotional site celebrating the state's finest and most unique Bloody Marys. But also, on a more sober note, it's this week, in particular, back in my native country, in the occupied Ulster province, is known as marching season. And Wednesday, July 12th in particular, is called Orangeman's Day, in which they celebrate the 1688 victory of William of Orange over the Catholic King James. And the Protestants in Northern Ireland celebrate by marching through Catholic neighborhoods, pillaging homes, spitting on the neighbors, hanging the Pope in effigy. So good stuff, But no, since the Good Friday Agreement of the mid-'90s, Ulster had become a multinational state, and there were very tangible signs. In fact, I used to visit, when I worked there, I was visiting a cousin in Cavan, and really didn't realize that Cavan's part of the Ulster province because there were no checkpoints. It was a multinational state, and there was it was a time of peace and coexistence. But since Brexit has come into the picture, all of that, including the tensions of like the 70s and what was known as the Troubles, preceding that, have reawakened. The marching season had continued throughout that time and even during that period of peace, but again in a under the confines of the Good Friday Agreement, it was, again, Northern Ireland was, tourism had skyrocketed. There were some great signs of economic development, all the things that are conducive to a good society. But unfortunately, again, with the Brexit regime, a lot of that craziness and silliness has come back. And so just, keeping all those people in my thoughts. But anyway, in this shorter segment, we want to spend some time with Mary Jane to talk about how she came up with the Wisco Mary concept. Mary Jane.
Well, Don, as you know, we all went through the pandemic in March of 2020. And while everybody else was making blueberry pies and cookies and cakes, I decided to build a website. We were all home for 6 to 8 weeks. And it's something that I always wanted to do. So I put my time to good use and built Wisco Mary. And after June came along, I was like, okay, I'm tired of being, kind of a shut-in. I decided to travel to the farthest points possible in the state of Wisconsin because many of the bars and restaurants around this area were closed.
Right. Yeah. And so do you have a count of how many cities you've covered in your travels?
I don't have a complete account, but that's a great question. I should post it. But I would say 400 to 500.
Wow.
And so my
bars and communities combined,
communities and restaurants. Sure. So I went all the way up to Superior, to Cornucopia, even to the Apostle Islands.
Very cool.
In search of the greatest Bloody Marys.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is neat. Do you have a criteria for what constitutes a great Bloody Mary? I know it's not fair to say what's the greatest Bloody Mary because there's just so many different ways to make them. But what are Mary Jane's rules for what makes a great Bloody Mary?
Well, first of all, I do not judge them on the website. I'm really there to promote the location and tell about the atmosphere, what to expect, and how they make their bloodies.
Sure.
I have them make them exactly the way they want.
And you capture them on video, right?
I capture them on photography, video, and put them on the website.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Google review, but only with Bloody Marys.
Neat. That's fun. But again, people are crazy about Bloody Marys. And do you think there's a propensity to travel, if they know that there are great Bloody Marys?
Well, the one beautiful thing about Wisconsin is all of the places to discover, all the cities, all the communities. And why not do that?
Especially in summertime.
Right, on a Bloody Mary day trip.
Sure.
So if you're in the area and you want to go to Sheboygan or up in Vilas County, you can go to the map, click on the county, and then explore the places that I've been to.
Okay. Really neat. Now, we think Bloody Marys, and especially in Wisconsin, you're thinking Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and you're doing that with breakfast at a bar. You get a hangover burger or a really good omelet, or in many cases, the Bloody Mary is the meal, depending on what the
correct.
What do they call it? The accoutrements or
all these garnishes.
Thank you.
It's a garnish game.
Come on, Anastasia, help me out here. No,
garnish game.
So the garnish game. So, but yeah, what are your favorite pairings with your Bloody Mary?
I personally like to call my vodka, but there's so many variations. Besides vodkas, you can have tequilas, and that would be a Bloody Maria, or you could have beer.
What are we drinking now?
We are drinking micheladas.
That's right. We are drinking, but it is 8:27 at night here, so that's okay. But Saturday morning, for those of you listening in real time, it's Saturday morning, so
they're everywhere.
Get a Bloody Mary
everywhere.
Yeah, so.
Any Thursday through Sunday, you just go to any bar restaurant. It doesn't have to be a bar, but and you look down all the tables across the whole restaurant.
Okay.
And there they are. They're filled with Bloody Marys.
Okay.
It's just a rite of passage on the weekend.
But real quick, and we have less than a minute, is there a favorite food, though, you have with a Bloody Mary if you're having in the morning? Or are you just drinking
Bloodies?
bacon.
Bacon.
There you go. Thanks. And even bacon is a garnish then, too.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic.
And candied bacon is very good.
Yes, no doubt. So, hey, when we come back from the break, we're gonna give Mary Jane a hard time, see if she can point out any good places in Waukesha for Bloody Marys, as well as some more stories of her travels and what you can learn on Wisco Mary. Don't go away. This Week in Waukesha continues.
This summer, 5:40 a.m. WAUK has a new lineup. 4 to 6.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy.
Come on, help me out here,
You're
Mary
still
Jane.
young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look
Keep
at
this song
me,
playing, Anastasia. We're back. This Week in Waukesha. It's
but I'm happy.
Father and Son, a classic from the artist formerly known as Cat Stevens, now Yusuf Islam. And
And I know
I heard it today, and I just had to hear it over again. Just beautiful song, and a good tribute to a friend of mine who, in addition to being a wonderful mother, was also a wonderful father to you. You are a single mother to 3 children, 3 amazing kids that have
Thank you.
taken the world by storm. One in construction, another in hospitality, and another one in finance and real estate. But here, now turn this part up here, Anastasia. How can I try to explain? Oh, sorry. Okay. Just had to get that away. This is a game. But I wanted just, going off topic for a quick second. I was marching in the 4th of July parade, and I get a call while marching in the parade with the radio station I was with, James Santel, Earl Ingham, Johnny Watermelon. Kristen Bry couldn't be there, but she was over she was on the loudspeaker, so she was there in spirit. That was fun. But my phone's ringing, and I can't pick it up, but I look, it's my brother down in Texas, and I'm like, why is he calling me on 4th of July? He's like, 4th of July down here is terrible because it's so freaking hot. And we recalled some wonderful 4th of July memories we had growing up in Western New York. And then the subject always goes to youth sports. He's got some prodigious children that are playing Division I sports in lacrosse at Stanford and Virginia, a daughter and a son, respectively.
Wonderful.
And actually, a son will be going to Virginia after he completes his senior in high school, which is an amazing kid. But we were talking about how youth sports has become the new Jim Crow, because it's a $17 billion industry, and you just can't. It wasn't like we were kids where you could pay $25 to be in Little League and still have enough money for freeze pops after the game. Now it's like $25 won't even get you a pair of socks.
Right.
And my brother added an interesting point. He'd 10 years earlier at a sporting event, he met a gentleman that played college basketball at the University of Minnesota. He was 6'8", big guy, and they were talking about. And this guy was African-American. Or something. Yeah, you don't see many people like me or kids that look like me playing youth sports. And it's a tragedy. And one wrinkle he added is that this new youth sports movement will result in less kids playing. You won't see many athletes with single parents, with single mothers. So you think of Pearl Washington, you think of all the great athletes, you won't see them at the collegiate or pro levels. Because one, well, you need 2 incomes. You need coverage. You need that other parent that can, because
Exactly,
you
that
can't,
can help
especially when you have more than one
transport.
child. Yeah, and so it's just really sad, especially someone like you that gave your whole life to your children and made a lot of these things possible. Antonio's name's up on the wall at Waukesha South for the
Yes, it
longest
is.
field goal. And he almost made the Wisconsin football team and was courted by other college programs for
Correct.
kicking. And so, but. Went to University of Wisconsin on an academic scholarship anyway, and has done really well. Just an amazing young man. But doesn't that break your heart as an entrepreneur, as someone that did so much for your children, that now it's even harder now?
It's also an opportunity for people to give back and to go out and help with the booster clubs and sponsor a child.
Yeah.
It's nice to give to organizations. It's always great, but sometimes if you can be involved to actually support a child, maybe mentor them for the 3-4 years during their sports, that will go a long, long way.
Yeah. So, and as this broadcast is taking place, the very next day is the first day of contact days at Waukesha South football. And if it's not too late if you're interested, if football's in your blood and you want to give it a shot, and do not worry about affordability because there are parents out there in the South program that'll help with equipment and with really a lot of other needs. So definitely check out Waukesha South on Sunday the 16th, which would be tomorrow when this broadcast takes place. But let's return to Wisco Mary and your exciting project, Wisco Mary Jane. So you're about to tell me something about, is it your 3 favorite Bloody Marys?
Yes, that's the first question I get from everybody. What are your 3 favorite Bloody Marys? And you would think that they would be elaborate concoctions, but actually for me, because I love to cook, it's about the flavor. So there's the Depot Tavern in Caledonia. So that's the Racine, Kenosha area.
Caledonia.
Yes.
Caledonia. Okay, yep.
Yep. And then the gentleman there, his name is Farmer, and he was making a Bloody Mary for me, and he used Sacramento Bloody Mary mix, but then he brought out the pepper mill, like the regular,
Like you put on a salad? Yeah, waiter
exactly,
would use
the big pepper
yeah,
mill.
I love those.
And then he had a grater, and he had fresh Parmesan cheese, and he grated that into the Bloody Mary.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, simple yet very, very amazing flavor.
Sure.
All fresh.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. Then trekking all the way up to Wausau, Wisconsin, there is a...
Anastasia, those are your digs? Yep. She's showing respect.
Go Wausau.
There you go.
Wausau.
Yeah.
And so you might know this place. It's the old railroad station, and it's called Timekeeper Distillery.
Yep.
THYME?
I think that's what it goes for.
Okay.
Well, across the street, there's a chef in a restaurant, and he has a garlic farm.
You're the one telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he ferments his garlic into black umami garlic.
Wow.
It's not cheap because you can get it at Newski's. I'm not doing an ad, but it's prepackaged. And so the distillery muddles their black umami garlic in their Bloody Marys. Oh my gosh. So amazing.
Wow.
Different flavor than you've had before. Very savory.
It's insane.
Yep.
We should get you on Kristen Bry, as goes Wisconsin, because this is good. She covers the whole state. So.
Oh, sure.
Terrific.
We might have to travel together.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be all over that. That if they heard, and Jane would have to come too, of course. I don't think Jane's afraid of a good Bloody Mary. Do you, Anastasia?
I am not a Bloody Mary fan.
Yeah, but what about you? Jane? Probably likes a good one, right?
Jane for sure does.
Sure. So
we'll have to wait a while on Kristen, though.
Yeah, that's right. She's in a family way, but they make good Virgin Marys. So
They do. It's really about the flavor.
Yep.
But I do want to interject here. On the website, you will find breweries, distilleries, and then I call them cheeseries and meateries, so it all kind of rhymes.
Yeah.
Sing-songy. Because you're going to get hungry along the way, and you might want to explore the wonderful products that Wisconsin makes as well.
Right.
So my third favorite, and you'll appreciate this, Don, is over at the Kohler Center.
In Sheboygan?
In Sheboygan. There's a restaurant there. It is part of the Kohler Group. And the chef makes a puree.
Wow.
He makes a Thai curry blended product, in a chilled martini glass.
Okay.
And then he takes a shishito pepper on a skewer, and he takes that little flame blower out.
Wow.
And he lights that thing up and chars it and sets it right on top of that martini glass.
And that's a Bloody Mary.
And that's their Bloody Mary.
A Bloody Mary in a martini glass.
Yes.
Wow. That is new and different.
Yes, very different.
So
I have seen crazy things all around the state.
Yeah.
So when you go past La Crosse or Chippewa Valley and farther north, everybody's into Clamato.
I was going to say there's been a little bit of a feud there.
Yes.
I'm a traditionalist. I want the my dad would use V8. My dad made great Bloody Marys, or even like the Major Peters. If that's still popular, but that was a great Bloody Mary mix, But then there are those that I like the Clamato, and I it's okay for me, I can live with it, but I'd rather just have the real. I'd rather hit my head on my forehead. I could have had a V8,
right?
Like the commercials.
And if you're vegan, you will not be using Clamato.
Yes,
right,
sure.
because it has the clam, seafood flavors to it.
Sure.
But then, Don,
yes,
what are the most spectacular Bloody Marys out there?
Yeah.
I attended Smashed on the Rocks in Algoma, Wisconsin.
I've been to Algoma.
Yes. and
WS Packaging was a
Oh,
customer of mine back
very
in my
cool.
packaging media days. Okay.
They have this, it almost looks like it would be fireworks.
Yeah.
So they have Bloody Mary in the glass, and their Bloody Mary is like $25,
Okay.
$27. But
Sure,
that
sure.
doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
it took me an hour and a half to get through it.
Wow.
Hour and a half to
Because it
everything
was so
from-
big, or because
It had so many
Right.
places, things
Sure.
on it. So boiled eggs. I've even seen, not in this place, but
Sure.
quail eggs colored and dyed.
I love quail
and,
eggs.
And put in their Bloody Marys.
Very cool.
There is, of course, everybody knows Sobelman's, the great Sobelman's.
Yeah, I've had some really good bloody. They live up to their billing, in my opinion.
Yes,
The one here.
and that they became famous when they did the Food Wars.
Okay.
Back a number of years ago.
Sure.
With the Twitter bar.
Okay.
And so yes, so they're very famous for that.
Very cool.
There is a place actually in Watertown, at Buffalo Mary's,
Yeah.
and they put like Twinkies.
Wow.
Twinkies on their Bloody Marys.
Oh, I don't know
and
about that.
donuts and everything else. They change it every week.
There was a bakery in New York that made homemade Twinkies. I always wanted to try like that. I'd be willing to try. But so dessert in the Bloody Mary. That's kind of a contrast. I was going to ask too, because every good Bloody Mary here in Wisconsin comes with cheese. Like there'll be a block of cheese, or there'll be string cheese, different types of cheeses. Is that unique to Wisconsin because of our cheese heritage, or have you found cheese at Bloody Marys in other states?
I found them all over, but of course we have the smorgasbord of cheeses around, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I actually like the strings because they're fun to eat, like
Sure.
spaghetti.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But here is what is unique to Wisconsin: a beer chaser.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was young, when we were young,
Very true.
there were pony beers, the little tiny,
Oh, yeah.
9-ounce,
Little-
beers.
My dad used to get those, the Miller, the High Lifes.
And they're not around
30
so
packs.
much anymore.
Right.
But Rylander still has them, and so does Corona and a couple other companies.
Yeah.
But mostly people will serve the beer chasers with your bloody.
There was a bar in St. Francis that was called Shorty's. It's not there anymore. It used to be McHugh's, that location. It was right near the railroad tracks. But Shorty's had beer cases across from the bar with different selections of the 9-ounce, the ponies. And that's where the name came from. So, but I don't know what their Bloody Marys are like. How's it usually there for late night? But anywho.
So back to the micheladas.
Yes.
When
that was good. Thank you. I
Yes.
just finished one.
Micheladas are only.
We have to go to a
used
break
beer.
soon so I can have another. But anyway,
Sure.
no, I was kidding.
Micheladas, and if you don't like to drink, vodka, or if you want to do a lighter fare,
Right.
if you add the beer to your bloody, the beers are only 4 or 5%. Maybe
Right.
there's some higher content.
Yeah.
You can drink them all day long.
Gives a little zing to it, which is neat. But is there really a difference in vodka? Could you use your rail vodka and it'd be just as good as if you used, one of your higher end,
Well-
Chopin or Kettle One or?
Here's the thing. When you make vodka, actually any alcohol, it's made in a vat, and the sediments go to the bottom, and the poisons float to the top. So the the premium stuff siphons those two things off.
Wasn't there a similar warning about our water in the country? Yeah. So anyway,
And so the premiums give you the heart and the best part of the vodkas,
Okay.
or any other alcohol.
Sure.
But the rail, you're kind of getting whatever they
right.
decide.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause it seemed like one of the golden rules in mixology, and I tended bar, was that you could get away with any good rail drink if you're just having a cocktail.
Correct.
But if you're doing a neat or whatever that is, or a martini, you want to go higher. You want to go to the shelf and find, top shelf or whatever that is. And the one exception was like with Irish coffees that you'd want a Tullamore or a Jameson because it still tastes great. It just makes the drink. But you're saying it's the same for Bloody Marys then?
Yes. So here's
Go to the top.
Here's the thing: is I like a little bit more citrus and Worcestershire.
Sure.
Everybody say
I did
that.
too, yeah.
Everybody say
Worcestershire,
that.
Yep.
In my bloody, but I don't ask for that. I have
Sure.
them make it their way.
Yeah.
But that citrus just really crispens the
Sure.
tomato juice.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing:
Yeah.
sugar. If you have a vodka that's corn based, it is a little sweeter,
Okay.
and it will make your bloody very nice.
Wow, that is a great. Thanks for sharing that. That's terrific. So, About 20 seconds. We're going to go to another break here. When we come back, though, we are going to focus on Waukesha because this week in Waukesha, let's find out some of the great bloodies here in Waukesha with Mary Jane Sanchez of Wesco Mary. Don't go away for the final segment. We will be back.
And I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
This summer, 5:40 a.m. WAUK has a new lineup.
Yes, that's awesome.
Starting at 6.
It's up in the morning, it's on the downs, and little white clouds like a gambling lambs, and I am breathless over you.
Hey, we're back this week in Waukesha, and this is Breathless from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and it goes out to my beautiful wife, Melissa, as we celebrate our 13th wedding anniversary on Wednesday the 12th. We had to celebrate on Tuesday the 11th, because Wednesday we are on our way to Bettendorf, Iowa, where our daughter and her teammates from the Waukesha ESA Suffragettes will be representing in a tournament there in the Quad Cities. But, yeah, beautiful song, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. And, again, it goes out to the great love of my life, Melissa, because I am breathless before her. And any fans of Spring City, Tom Hockel, the owner, there's I think an uncanny resemblance, and I've told him this, so there's no that it was an uncanny resemblance between him and Nick Cave, and I mean that as a compliment because I think Nick Cave's really cool. Any of you Peaky Blinders fans, a lot of that music, including the kind of the title track, is a Nick Cave song, but the premiere episode of season 3 is that song "Breathless," and it's when Tom marries the girl from he marries the girl from Northern Ireland that was an undercover cop, and they fall in love. And anyway, it's just amazing, beautiful song. Listen to it sometime in its entirety. You'll hear it towards the end of the show. But we've got to talk to Mary Jane Sanchez about what's going on with bloodies in Waukesha here. What are the ones we should look out for? And any great stories?
Well, first, I want to congratulate both you and Melissa. I just love Melissa. She is also such a great friend of mine, and
Thank
I
you.
admire the two of you and your bringing up of your family.
Thank you.
So you have an accomplished family as well.
Thank you. That means everything. So, and she's my rock, and we're going to be having dinner. The Tuesday dinner is going to be at Tofty's. So we've been going there probably the last couple of years now on anniversary, and Tuesday night our seats are at the bar. They're always you got to book weeks or days in advance to go there. Right. So real compliment to Christina and Chef Jason. They do a wonderful job there.
They do.
And so really, it's great to live here in the Shaw and celebrate our life together. And actually it's our 13th wedding anniversary, but it is 11 years that we've been here in Waukesha, and our kids love it here. Our family, so we love our neighborhood. So
great community.
Yeah. So let's talk bloodies in the Shaw.
Okay. Well, first of all, anybody that goes to the farmers market, it's just a very short jaunt across the street to Hannon's. Hannon's fine food and cocktails. So usually they have a board out front, and it says $4 Bloody Marys. So don't completely quote me.
Yeah.
But every time I go there, they're $4, and they're absolutely delicious.
Wow.
And Jose is the one that usually makes them for me.
Okay.
Now we're going to stretch out a little bit, and I go to the Neighbors Bar and Grill, just on the very outside.
They have great service, and the menu is amazing.
They do. The menu is
Fish fry,
completely
too,
amazing.
is outstanding.
But their Bloody Marys are in a very tall, almost a horned...
Yeah.
A glass that's
right.
So very tall, and they serve celery in their bloody, and very few places.
My dad always did that.
Serve it with celery anymore,
yeah.
But it cleans the palate.
That was the standard, yeah, and that's why you did it. Yep.
And that's why you did it, and I'd like to see more bars and restaurants bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
And celery is cheap, so
yeah.
So there's
and
that.
You like that
out.
crunch too.
Exactly.
So
then, of course, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention the destination.
Really?
The destination is there on Main Street.
Sure.
Right.
Near Jimmy's Grotto, right?
Yes, over by Jimmy's Grotto.
So.
And so Destiny there, the destination, that's her place, and she's known for making amazing Bloody Marys.
Fantastic.
And
what makes them amazing?
It's the mix, but they put shrimp in there.
Oh,
they
cool.
Put cheese. They put
now that's a good match.
Yes,
that's a good that makes sense. Not Twinkies, but
right.
Yeah.
But they also put the dilly beans in there. The
Very cool.
hot dilly beans.
Okay.
And it's just the flavor. She's just been a whiz at that for many years. But a quick note is that used to be the Hook and Shell back when my father used to go to that bar.
Wow.
And in those days, a Bloody Mary was a michelada. It was just beer with tomato juice, and it's really grown and come a long, long way since those days.
Sure.
At that same location.
Yeah.
Then also Wonder Tap, just as you're coming into Waukesha.
Yeah.
I think a year or two ago, the bartender said, "Mary Jane, look at this. We've got Bloody Mary on the tap."
Where's Wonder Tap?
It's as you're coming into Waukesha by the quarry.
Okay.
And it's Wonderland Tap.
Oh, Wonderland. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry if I misspoke about that.
Is that where Ken Hollow's daughter's the bartender?
Yes. Darcy.
So Darcy, yep.
Yeah, and she's the one that pointed out that they had the Bloody Mary mix on the tap.
On the tap. I've seen that. And are you okay with that, or is that kind of selling out?
Well, normally I would say it's selling out, but I tasted it and it was actually good.
Sure.
Since then, it's no longer on the tap.
Okay.
But while
it's an art form, though.
It is.
People, yeah.
I completely agree. I want mine handmade.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's made for me.
Yeah. I mean, I may sound sacrilegious, but like old fashions are huge here in Wisconsin because people drink so many of them. All the bars have mixes. But as a former bartender, I loved, except when I was busy, but I loved making that old fashioned. It was an art form. There was a lot that went into it. A lot of muddling and a lot of, the pack of sugar, the cherry. I mean,
right.
People loved it. It was it was part of the entertainment.
That's it. I was just going to say.
But you don't get that in Wisconsin. Very few play, if any, because of the volume of
ones that they serve.
Old fashions that you get here. Yeah, especially the brandy old fashions.
So people ask me all the time, why don't you do an old fashioned website? And I'm like, nobody poses with their old fashions.
Yeah.
But they sure as heck pose with their Bloody Marys.
Yeah. There's something about it. My mom drank old fashions, and I think it was a acceptable way for a woman to drink whiskey. I think that's why it was made. Because I've tried, and these are the whiskey old fashions. Not a fan. But
I'm a bourbon, actually, or Manhattan. So
okay.
I'll go that route.
Manhattans and old fashions, yeah.
Yes.
So, yep.
So I want to add at least two more.
But you could do a Manhattan up, shaken.
Yeah.
And that's an elegant drink.
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
press so that you don't have as much sugar.
Sure.
For some of those people. At least two more shout outs.
Yep.
That would be Magellan's. Magellan's makes a mean
Dan
Bloody
Italiano.
Mary as well. And then also, let's see, who else am I thinking about? Fuzzies has always done that in the.
Okay, got less than a minute.
Okay. And let's see, and I'll take it from there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're just going to have you back on the show sometime soon, Mary Jane. Maybe as we get into the cold season when because those Bloody Marys are great on a cold or crisp fall or winter morning. So, but I thank you for joining me on this Saturday morning, even though it's dark out in our alternative reality. Thank you, Anastasia, for putting in this extra time. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Please remember, safety is everyone's responsibility, and see ya!
See ya!
Steal your soul, for still the final love is true, and I am a breathless without you.
Does your financial strategy include your hopes and dreams? What matters most to you? For over 100 years, Thriven has helped clients like you find financial solutions for life's important goals.